Hey guys, how are y'all doing this evening? I am so glad that you've joined me. I'm here talking about some dream work and where spirituality fits in all the dream work. Hey, how are y'all doing? So let's just see how everybody's week started. Everybody doing okay? Let a couple of more people jump in. Hey, April. Amanda. Hey, guys. So, got a lot going on this week. We've got a family celebration. That's what I call it. I have no urge to call it Thanksgiving. It's more of a family celebration. It doesn't always have to have a bad connotation. We know what the true story is of how Thanksgiving came to be, but I like to think of it as one of the opportunities that we have to get together with our families and to just be together and argue and eat and love on each other and talk about our lives. So I hope everybody has a chance to do that with their family this week. And some people who don't have families get together with friends. My husband and I are Christmas kind of a tradition thing that we do is because our kids are out of the house is we get up and we get around, we do our Christmas thing, and then we go to a Chinese buffet. So come on, y'all, who doesn't love Chinese buffet on Christmas Day? Oh, okay, busy over the weekend. Did your big dinner yesterday. That's good. That's awesome, y'all. I mean, who cares what brings us together? The tragedy of the true meaning of Thanksgiving doesn't have to overshadow the fact that we get together with our families that sometimes we don't even get to see except for this time of the year. So, we'll take what we can get and we'll take it for what it is. So, absolutely, yes. So yeah, I'll be actually getting to go spend Thanksgiving with my family, with my mom and my sister and my brother, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to see some kiddos and family members that I haven't seen for a long time. So just since we moved up here, we're about maybe an hour and a half away. So, but life gets in the way and we get busy. So, hey, how are you? So, what we're talking about tonight is basically where your dreams fit in with spirituality. So, you've had a spiritual awakening. And what is a spiritual awakening? Basically, it is a knowing. It's all of a sudden you have this knowing of there's more out there, there's more to what's happening in this world, what's happening to us. There's more out there. And we all know that. But it's like when you awaken, you start questioning, what is it then? I know there's more out there. Tell me what it is. So, what causes you to have a spiritual awakening? Well, you can have a spontaneous spiritual awakening. There could be nothing that precipitated it, nothing that caused anything to happen. You just wake up one day and you feel different. And you're like, what is the meaning of all this? And what is the meaning of everything? Or you can have the one that is precipitated by trauma, a death of somebody very close to you. You could have an illness, a severe illness that happens, and literally it triggers something in your head like this. That was so close. This can't just be it. Where did my loved one go? I've never really thought about it before. Something this personal has never happened to me before, and it's traumatizing, and you need to know. So you search out those things. And there's a lot of different stages. So as you are figuring it out, you're also figuring out, I'm either dreaming excessively or you're not dreaming at all. It just kind of goes from one extreme to the other extreme. So the ones who are dreaming a lot and are having very, very vivid dreams that are just coming in are the ones who are actively in the process of trying to figure out, what is this spiritual awakening? What does it have to do with me? So you're basically your crown and third eye, you're just like a big funnel, and all of this information from the universe starts filtering in. So you start having very vivid dreams. And those vivid dreams, man, if you write those down, people, I'm telling you, you are going to have so much information that comes in. The clarity that you can gain from writing these down. And literally, it may not happen like in one night, have this a dream, this huge epiphany, and you understand everything. No, it's not going to happen that way. You're going to have these dreams that really don't make a whole lot of sense right in the very beginning. So as you write them down, and you literally can look over them over a period of time, say maybe a week, you can think and look an overview of what the dream is, and it's going to tell a story. It's going to give you a message, and it's going to be extremely eye-opening. But you have to do the work. It's not something literally that is just you're going to wake up and go, oh my God, that dream, it meant this. It's a process. And our dreams, because half our life we spend awake, half our life we spend asleep. Okay? Everything that's happening in our wake life, of course, yeah, we know what's going on. Life takes over, work takes over, our family life takes over. But when you are asleep at night, all of that falls away. All of that kind of means nothing. The stress, everything that you're going through in the sleep state goes away, and you open up. You open up to the universe. You open up to your spirit guides. You open up to your ancestors. You open up to everything that's out there. Sometimes bad things, so you have to be very, very diligent in your protection. But guys, the messages that we can receive can change your life, especially when you're going through and you've had this spiritual awakening and you're figuring things out, and then all of a sudden you hit this plateau, or you hit this kind of a wall where I was trucking along, everything was going great. I'm just getting all this spiritual information, everything's coming to me, and it's just wonderful. But then all of a sudden, you just hit this plateau, and you're like, what's happening? Well, you can be having what's called a dark night of the soul. It's where you start questioning what you just went through, what you just learned. Why did I go through all of that? And then I'm hitting this lull. That is absolutely normal. But a lot of times people will go to the doctor because they start feeling depressed. They start feeling anxious. They start feeling sad. Hey guys, they start feeling really sad and don't know what to do with that. So you go to the doctor, as you should. You go to the doctor and you say, look, I'm just not feeling my best. You start talking about your symptoms and the doctor, because it's what he's trained to deal with. You know, it sounds like you've got a little bit of depression going on. Let's prescribe you a low-dose antidepressant. Or that sounds like anxiety. Let's give you something that will help with your anxiety. If those things are needed and necessary and warranted, absolutely take that medication. But if it feels to you like a lull in your spiritual path and where you're going, if you can hold out and you can wait it out, sometimes it can just be a few days. Sometimes it can be a week, a couple of weeks. If you, by all means, feel like you can't deal with it, go to the doctor. But if you feel like it's something that you can hang on for, like, okay, I, don't stop. Don't stop researching. Don't stop trying to learn about your spirituality. Do things that immerse you. Get around people who are in the same spiritual community as you. If you don't have people that you can be around physically, get on TikTok, get on Facebook. Find those groups of people that are like-minded that can motivate you. And you may realize that, okay, I really don't need anything for anxiety, or I don't really need this medication. I'm going to give it about a week or two and just see if I can get past that point. And if you can, I have someone that I'm very close to right now that when we talked about what was going on with her spirituality and how her anxiety and depression and things like that had come back, and she followed our advice and kind of just wrote it out a little bit and just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to see where this leads me. I'm going to see how I do. And has still yet, and this was back in spring, early summer, and is still doing well and is still able to go, okay, I got through that bump. I got through that hump. I got past it, and I didn't need to go back on the medication that I had taken in the past. But guys, this is, because I know this huge thing that has gone on with TikTok of this lady that's telling people that that is keeping them, that medication is keeping them from their spiritual gifts. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. Because if you are not stable and you are not where you need to be, then your gifts are of no service to anyone, to you or anyone else, if you are not in a safe place mentally, physically. So yeah, guys, I mean, really, don't, if you feel like you want to stop medication, if you feel like you want to do something along those lines, if it's something that is for depression or anxiety along those lines, then go to your doctor, talk to your doctor and say, hey, I feel like I'm in a good place. I would like for you to help me wean off of this medication, because medication has a lot of side effects if you just stop taking it. So make sure that you are working with your doctor. But if you get through this dark night of the soul, you know, if you stopped having dreams, they can slowly start reintegrating back into your life. Or if you're having dreams and they stop, there could be a reason. You could have a bottleneck in where you've got this filter open and you're getting all this information in from the universe. You may need to slow down so that you can process all of this information that is coming through. Yes, your gifts are not going to go away by taking medication. I'm sorry. There are incredible psychics, incredible mediums, incredible gifted people who are on medication and probably couldn't do what they choose to do in their lives effectively without that medication. So make absolutely sure. Your sleepwalking has almost stopped. I'm glad to hear that, Amber. So let's get back to the spiritual aspect of dreaming. So like I said, you can go from one extreme to the other, but your spiritual, where you are in your spiritual path has a lot of bearing on your dreams. I took a sleeping pill, Ambien. That's horrible medication. I had to take it. I took it for 11 years. And let me tell you, I can probably count on one hand how many dreams I remembered in that 11 years that I took Ambien. And being a dream walker, I can't even imagine the chaos and the dreams and the people's dreams that I was invading because I had no boundaries when I was on this medication. So I still have a little bit of repercussions from taking that medication for so long. I still am trying to get myself back to the way that I was before that. But I honestly feel like things don't want me to reach my spiritual potential in my dream work, because I can help people. And there are things out there that don't want me helping people and helping them figure things out. But I do still have to take a little bit of a sleeping medication or I won't sleep. So I figure until I can get myself into a good state, in good protection and good where I need to be so that I can help people, I'm going to continue to take that medication because it's what I need. So guys, always, always, always listen to your bodies. Always listen to your body. If you're on a medication and you feel like you are in a good place, talk to your doctor. Work with your doctor to get off of that medication if that's what you want to do. But don't do it because somebody is telling you that that's what you need to do. That's the only way that you're going to reach your spiritual potential, because that is BS. No gifts that you have are going to be stifled by medication, because everybody's first thought on this medication thing was don't take the medication. They were thinking psych medication, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, antipsychotic. But, she didn't specify what medication she was talking about. So you have some very easily influenced people who are thinking, she's right. I've been taking this medication for my diabetes for 12 years, and I need my spirituality to build and to get stronger and to mean more. So I'm going to stop taking this medication for my diabetes because she said this is what's keeping me from reaching that potential. Yeah, guys, that is not the route to take. Or somebody saying, well, you know what, maybe this blood pressure medicine that I'm taking is keeping me from reaching my spiritual potential, so maybe I should stop taking it. Do not do anything that is going to wreak havoc on your body, because there is no one, I promise you, no one on TikTok, doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist, psych nurse. I'm a retired psych nurse. Trust me, there is no one out there who has all the answers fixing your physical and your spiritual and integrating them and being able to be 100%. There is no one out there who can do that for you. So you have to listen to your own body. You have to listen to your own spirit guides and your own ancestors, and listen to what your body, your mind, your soul is telling you need to do as far as medication goes, as far as therapy goes, as far as anything. Because if you are not well physically, you are not going to be well spiritually. You have to keep yourself on all levels. And I retired from nursing, and I say that I retired from caring for people's physical health, and now I take care of people's spiritual health. And I think that is just as important. So don't take my word. Certainly don't take that word. Listen to your own people, your own spirit guides, your own mind, your own higher self. Ask your higher self. And if they act like they know exactly how to get you to spiritual elevation, you need to run, because not everybody knows that. Not everybody understands that. And sometimes people are going to say what they say, and they're the only ones who think it, for follows, for likes, for people to listen to what they're saying. I'm just telling you to research. Absolutely 100% research. Okay, now, I got off on that tangent. Sorry, I had no idea I was going to go off on that tangent about medication, but I did take medication that kept me from remembering a lot of my dreams. So I feel like my spiritual health in my because I'm a dream worker. That's what I do. That is what my gift is. I feel like I kind of like took 10 steps back when I was taking that medication. And it was extremely hard to get off of because it's very addictive. If you've ever taken Ambien, it is no joke. So you're welcome. Absolutely trust your gut. So I was under a doctor's care. I slowly weaned myself off of this medication. I got on a different medication to help me sleep. That is not any kind of narcotic or anything like that. It's very mild and it helps me because without it, I would not sleep. And it is not good mentally. It is not good physically, not sleeping. So it's not just not remembering my dreams or whose dreams was I walking through without anyone's permission, or was I even able to help anyone in that time that I was on that medication. Because I have people almost on the daily who tell me, you came and helped me in my dream, I called out to you, you were there, or you pulled me out of this, or whatever. I shudder to think that I wasn't able to help people during that time. Maybe I did, I don't know, but I want to remember it if I did. I guess somebody needed that message. I just know that it's been such a huge discussion on TikTok, on Witch Talk, on spiritual talk. So yeah, yeah. Talk to your doctor, and don't ever take it upon yourself to stop any medication without, because your doctor, trust me, they don't just throw anyone on medication. They go by a diagnosis, they go by criteria before they actually put someone on a medication. So if a doctor truly feels like you need it and they put you on it and you started taking it and they're monitoring that, it's not something to take lightly at all. You need to have a doctor's help because there are so many medications out there. Some of them you can just stop. You can call the doctor and he'll say, yeah, just go ahead and stop taking it. You'll be fine. And there are some out there that have horrendous withdrawal and side effects, and they don't have to be narcotic. They don't have to be an opioid or anything along those lines. Antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, they can cause a lot of side effects if you don't wean yourself off of them. So, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. So, when you hit those dark nights of the soul, you're doubting where you belong in your spirituality. A lot of times the physical, your waking life is very chaotic. But if you set your intention when you're going to sleep at night that you will have dreams that are prophetic, you will have dreams that are going to help you figure out what you're needing to do in your waking time. Ask your spirit guides. Ask your ancestors. Talk to them, because you are the most open and the most receptive when you are in that deep level of sleep where you don't have the noise of the world. Oh, I have to be here at 7 o'clock tonight. Oh, I have to pick the kids up. Oh, I have to go to that meeting. Oh, I have to get up early and have a meeting. All that noise of your waking life falls away. And what's there and what's left is what is truly there for you to learn and to understand and to know. And you don't have to completely understand what a dream is. Again, writing these down, because when you're just waking up and you're fully remembering that dream and you're like, oh my God, that is a cool dream. I'm going to remember that. I don't even need to write that down. I'm not going to forget about it. So once you've risen for the day, you've taken your shower, you've gotten dressed, you're getting ready for work, as your brain kicks in and everything that you learned in the dream kind of falls to the wayside, it's forgotten. It's forgotten that quick and it's forgotten that fast. So you really, really, really need to write this down. And literally, it doesn't have to be a novel. You don't have to wake up with this huge piece of paper. I was walking down a path in a dark forest. I saw, because trust me, if I had to write dreams down like that, I would never write dreams down. Key points: walking, dark, woods, path. Just little words that are going to help you plug your memory back in later to what you dreamt about. And then one dream may not make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't really mean anything to you. But the next morning, you write down building, 2 cars, dogs barking. And you're doing this over a course of several nights. It can give you a huge message. And it can happen all the time if you do this. If you keep these dream journals, they literally, you could write a book with the story that your dreams can tell you. And you may have to do some research, guys, because literally our dreams that come from the ethereal plane, they're so much more advanced than we are. Their comprehension, their understanding, their intelligence, and their words are totally different than what we have here. So they know, okay, we got to break it down so Pam understands what is going on in this dream. So okay, she's being really stubborn. So let's show her a goat. So you dream about a goat and you're like, what does a goat have to do with anything that's happening in my life? Well, they're trying to tell you you're being stubborn. So you have to do the footwork and understanding what some of these really, really odd dreams have to do with anything. But they always do. They always do. Because literally when you dream at night, that is like sleep therapy. It's like therapy that's happening as you're asleep, because everything is being figured out. Everything is being worked out in your life, what's happening in your life, what you're dealing with, what you're going through. It all has to do with these dreams. You just have to plug in what that means to me. Okay, I'm dreaming about a goat. Why would I be dreaming about a goat? And then you start thinking, okay, what are the characteristics of a goat? Well, they're pretty stubborn. They literally just kind of put their heads down and ram everything and decide they're going to just barrel through everything as they see it. What does that have to... Oh. So a goat, what? It sounds like a goat's pretty stubborn and they don't listen. Am I being stubborn? Am I not listening? Okay, well I have been really stubborn here lately, so that does make a lot of sense. Catherine, the dream tea is amazing. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yes, I've worked hard on those. Yeah, guys, when you break these dreams down, no matter how silly, how much they make no sense to someone, they do mean something. You have to put the footwork in understanding. Now, I do have my dream services on my website where I will help you break down what the dream means. But I don't just sit and tell you dreaming about a horse, dreaming about dogs, dreaming about a boat, dreaming about being lost at sea, you can Google all of those things. You can go to dream interpretation websites. You can get books that tell you about all of this and what it all means. But I will sit down and I will have a discussion with you about how your life's going, What are you dealing with in your life? What's happening in your life? Just in conversation. And I will intuitively tap in to what is going on and what that dream means for you. Because if somebody else dreams about a goat, it may mean something different to them. But if you're dreaming about it, I can tell you what it means for you. And all right, so I know that I've had people say, hey, what does it mean when you dream about this? Again, you can Google that. You don't have to pay me to tell you what it means to dream about a blue horse. You don't have to pay me to tell you what it means to dream about being in a boat in a storm. But what I do is I help you figure out what that dream means to you personally, intuitively. It's no different than if I was sitting here reading oracle cards for you. I tap into you. I tap into what's happening in your life, what you're dealing with, and as I'm turning those cards over, those cards are a placeholder for things that are coming through, and it gives me a picture of a story that I need to tell you from these cards. It's no different with dream interpretation. So I literally listen to the key points of what is happening in the dream. It's like turning over cards, just like turning over oracle cards for you and explaining to you what those mean. They all mean something different. I could pull a whole nother set of cards for somebody else and they mean something totally different. So basically, using your intuition that everybody has, you just have to tap into it. Dream Dictionary. Yeah, absolutely. And you can find, there are a myriad of books out there that are dream interpretation. But it's literally just dreaming about this means this. But it doesn't tell you what it means in your life and what's happening in your life and how it pertains to you. I'm glad to hear you're back on your spiritual healing path. Absolutely. So I'm actually going back to work at the shop that I was at before I started working from home because I miss doing Reiki so much. I need some hands-on. I need to do some hands-on healing. So yeah, on December the 1st, I'll be going back to Enchantments and Oddities in Owasso, which is in Oklahoma. But I miss that more than anything. If I could spiritually and physically heal people, like in a combination, nothing better. Okay. Is there a reason there's some dreams you'll remember for a long time? Yes, because they're about as strong a message as you can get. You just have to have it interpreted or be able to interpret it, because if it's something that is so profound that your human brain kept a hold of that and remembers it, every detail of that dream, it is very significant, and you just need to find out what the significance of that dream is. You think you just started. Well, it's a good place to be. Right now is a good place to be. And yeah, dreams that if you dream of something over a very, very, very long period of time, and it's always the same dream over and over and over and over again, a lot of times that can be tapping into a past life, or it could be tapping into something that may happen in the future, or it could just be something that is so profound. Now, my most profound dream that I've had repetitively over and over and over as I was a child was a past life remembering. And again, because you're in a dream state, there's no easy, there's no greater time for all of those things to come to you than when you're in that sleep state, when you're the most open, when you're the most quiet. There's no noise of the world that's the outside world that is just bombarding you and kind of blocking all of that out. When you're asleep, you are, one, the most vulnerable that you can be. Two, you're the most open and willing to see things and hear things, because you have people who don't believe in certain things but can dream about it and wonder, I don't even believe in hell. How can I be dreaming about hell when I don't believe in hell? Well, that may not be what it means. That just may be your earthly way, your human brain's way of putting something into that. And it may not literally mean hell to you, but you can dream about things even if you don't believe them. No, the shop that I'll be working at is Enchantments and Oddities, and it's in Owasso, Oklahoma. Spirit guide. Could it be my spirit guide? How do I know? Let's see. I don't understand. Ask that question again a little bit differently, Mistress. Could it be my spirit guide? Like in a dream? If you ask that again, I can answer that. I'll go on to Summer. What's it mean if you have a dream and can't remember it, but you know it was important? It means that you are not ready to process that dream. I have had dreams before that I knew, my God, that I had a really important dream. I remember it completely, the importance of it, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I just know it was massive, and I know it was important, and I know it's something. So don't try too hard, but it literally could be that your physical mind is not ready to process the information that it received. And, you know, you can set that intention when you're going to bed at night. I understand I had an important dream. I remember that dream. I remember every vivid detail. I remember every scene. I remember everything. Set that intention, and you're going to open yourself up and say, I open myself up to understand the importance of the dream that I had that I cannot remember. I know I need to remember. I remember this dream. Set that intention. Not that I hope to remember it, or I hope I do remember this dream, because everything that you're wanting, everything that you're asking is just on the other side of hope. And it's always going to stay on the other side of hope. You say it like it's happened right now. I remember every dream, every detail, every person, every message in my dream. What if you have different dreams but with the same people or thoughts or feelings in the same dream? Then it tells me that you're trying to deal with what's the message in the dream, but you're not quite getting it. So they're giving you the information in different ways. Same people, different scenarios, even though you know it pertains to the same thing. You're just not quite ready or not quite getting. So they're trying to go through other avenues. Your spirit guides, your ancestors, your guardian angels, they're trying to give you the information in different ways, but you still know it pertains to the same thing, and it's just trying to help you and give you more information. Oh, your ancestors, absolutely. Your ancestors can help you process all of these dreams, guys. That's why it's so important that when you're setting your protections up at night, literally, in Christianity, it's normal when you go to bed at night to lay down and to say your prayers and to you know, pray for people, the sick people, the people for protection. That is what you do if you're a spiritual being as well. When you lay down at night, that is where you put your protections up, wrap everybody up that you love in the white light and the protection. That is where you open yourself up to your spirit guides and your ancestors to give you any messages that you need from up there. And they will. You just have to ask, and you can say, I want to meet you. I would like to see you. I would like for you to stand before me, sit across the table from me, tell me your name. And it may not happen all right away in the very, very first time that you ask. It's a process, because they may be like, I wonder why she's all of a sudden asking for that now. And when they realize that your intentions are pure and you're truly just trying to figure out your spiritual path, they are going to be more than happy to give you the information that you need. Hey, Daniel. Doctor told you have PTSD associated with sleep, so it took you years to sleep normal. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. You spend half of your time asleep and half of your time awake. So if you can have PTSD from being awake, you can certainly have PTSD from being asleep. Especially if you are traveling into the astral plane and you're not remembering exactly what you're doing, but you know that you wake up terrified. I can tell you what stopped that for me was, now I travel all over, but what stopped the night terrors and being so terrified for me was wrapping myself up in the white light. I put the egg around me and I fill the egg that I'm in with white as I can get the light in my head. And I say, what can permeate into that? I say, the only thing that can get through this barrier, through this protective light, and through this shell is my God, who is Unetlana, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, and my ancestors that are for my higher good. And I literally say, only those that I mentioned can follow me into a dream and back from a dream, into the astral plane and back from the astral plane. And that right there puts that barrier up where even if you are in the astral plane, nothing sees you. If it does see you, it has no interest in following you back, because it has no way of attaching to you and piggybacking onto you and coming back with you and wreaking havoc. That's where a lot of sleep paralysis comes from. That's where a lot of sensing that something's in the room and you don't really know what it is. So that a lot of that does happen from not protecting yourself. So you're going to say what can permeate through that, and you're going to say nothing negative, nothing that wishes me ill will or harm can get through this protective barrier at all. Say what can, say what can't. Yes, guys, I have a really hard time keeping up with all of this. I'm really new to this. You dream of people who've passed, you're ushering them somewhere where they're a light being. It sounds to me like you're definitely helping people cross over. Sometimes people get stuck in that area, that gray area, just on the other side of the veil. And I had the privilege of actually helping one of my dearest friends in the whole wide world, one of my best childhood friends, in a dream. I went and told her that there was a car accident, and as soon as she had the realization, then it was time for her to move on. And so, yeah, it sounds to me like you have the privilege of that. Your daughter is sick? Absolutely, yeah. I will light a candle as soon as I get off of here, Calypso. Absolutely. You had a breakthrough, Catherine. Oh, I'm glad. That's what I'm here for. Dreams are one of the most fascinating things about us. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Because we let the noise of the world when we're awake, the noise of everyday life takes over, and we don't always notice the signs that our spirit guides are giving us, our ancestors are giving us. So what is the next best thing? You're asleep. You have no way of protesting or saying, I don't have time for this, I'm not going to listen to this, I don't, they're like, okay, we've got a direct channel to give Pam these messages that she needs, and she cannot block us out. So she's going to listen. Your daughter passed away while she was asleep, and you were asleep, so your brain blamed sleep. I can, Amber, that can definitely cause a lot of trauma. And I'm so sorry for that. I can't even imagine how that must feel. So do you feel the white light power ebbs and flows with practice of meditation and mindfulness? Absolutely, Daniel, because you know what? There are times when, it's been a long day, I've had a lot of appointments, it's time to go to bed, I'll lay down, and I'm just not in that headspace right at that time. And I start wrapping myself up, putting the egg around me, and I'm trying to feel the light, trying to fill the egg up with light. And I'm just, okay, that's not very bright. Okay. I'm having trouble visualizing it. Because a lot of times I don't feel the light going around me. I feel myself looking at myself in front of me. I have to visualize myself in front of me, and then the light coming down into the shell and filling up into that around me. I have to visualize it like I'm the third person watching that from outside, and sometimes the light it's there. It's just kind of dull. It's kind of like a light bulb that's getting dull and it's kind of going out. And I have to stop myself and go, no, that's not good enough. Stop what you're doing. Pay attention. I know you're tired, but if you want protection and you want yourself 100% protected, then pay attention. And I literally center myself, and I ground myself, and then I try again, and I fill it up with the brightest, most vibrant white light. So you have to be in that headspace. You cannot just lay down and go, okay, I put the light of protection around me, I put it around my home, I put it around my son, I put it around my grandson, my granddaughters, my mom. You have to put in the work, and you have to visualize it, and you have to totally feel it in every fiber of your being that you're protecting your loved ones, and you're protecting yourself and your property and your animals. You have to 100% be in the moment. If you don't feel in the moment, you're protected, but you're not as protected as you can be. Because when I literally put myself back into that, and I ground myself and I recenter myself, and that light is so bright, I can feel it. I mean, I feel it with every fiber of my being. That's it. That's the light. That's what I needed. Hey y'all. I'm glad you're joining me. Let me get back to some of these questions. You have certain family members who say you come into their dreams, but you don't see them. So you're saying that they see you, but you don't notice them. So you're not realizing, you're not having the dream of, I saw you too. And that's okay. It sounds to me like you are definitely doing some dream walking. And it's okay with somebody like family members and things like that, that you know that if you're in their dream for a specific reason, you're not invading someone's dream. Now, if you wanted to invade someone's dream, you could certainly do that, because there are people who can work because it's work. You have to build that up. There are certainly people who can invade people's dreams on purpose. They can do really bad things. They can do sexual things. They can scare you, wreak havoc. in your dream, and that's another reason to put that white light and shell of protection around you, because those things are not allowed, and those things can't touch you and bother you. How do you safely honor this gift? You can literally, when you are putting the protection around everybody you love and you're doing your nightly routine, you can say, if I travel into someone's dream, it will be someone who needs my help. I wish to not invade someone's dream who doesn't want me there. If I'm there and it is for my higher good and their higher good that I help them, and I appear in their dream and I do help them, set those intentions. Say what you want to do. Because every night when I'm saying my routine and doing my routine, I always say, because I have my house warded and guarded so strongly, that if I don't say, if someone needs me in a dream and they call to me and they call out to me, may they be able to get through to me, and may I be able to go help them. Because if not, my guards and my wards around my house are so strong that they can't get through. And I don't know if somebody needs me and they can't get the message to me. Yeah, you're not seeing them, they just see you. Yeah. That sounds like you are dream walking. And that's the thing. I'm not always cognizant of the fact that someone says, "Oh my gosh, you came and got me in a dream last night and pulled me out of that house and I was scared and you were there." I don't remember those things. It's my higher self and my spirit and my higher self that comes to help you. So I consciously don't always remember those things. And I've yet for anyone to say that I've never helped them, that even just my presence there was helpful to them in some way, shape, or form. Ah, yeah, it sounds to me like he was quite aware, like it's something that, and that's stuff that is passed down. So it definitely, she said her grandfather was wanting to talk to her about it before he passed, but he passed before he could talk to you. It sounds to me like he wanted to educate you a little bit on what you could do. Yeah, yeah. So he walked into your dream. So he knows obviously that you have the capability of doing that for other people. So he wanted to educate you probably on safety, on consent, on not invading other people's dreams. And you know what? Sometimes you can't help it. There's been times where, especially when I was younger, before I truly understood what I could do, I was all over in people's dreams. I didn't realize that I needed consent, but I always set the intention now that I help people who need my help, who want me in their dream. So I always set that intention, as long as you're setting the intention. Oh, dream of different time periods, same. Same, that one of my main recurring dreams was in an old cabin with wood floors, with dirt floors. And even the dream itself was the April, I can't remember what color we were talking about, this sepia or something like that, where it was kind of a brown, almost like an old movie type of a color in my dream. So yeah, yeah. What does it mean when you dream of someone revealing pregnancy and baby items in a dream? Now, anytime that my sister especially, could dream about people, if she dreamt about somebody being pregnant, they usually got pregnant. Or if you dream of someone revealing a pregnancy and baby items in a dream, it could just mean that there are, without knowing exactly what's going on, to me it sounds like that there's something new that's about to come to pass. Maybe a new venture or a new birth of something that is new to you. You know, birth doesn't necessarily have to mean a baby. Sometimes it can, but sometimes it can also just mean the birth of an idea, of a dream, of, you know, something that you've been wanting for a long time, maybe. In a cabin with candles, yep. Yep. I've had, thank you. Always been odd, wake up with bruises after dreaming of being injured. Yep. Yeah. I've traveled extensively in the astral plane and wake up extremely tired. And I think that a lot of it has to do with the physicality of what we're doing in the dream state, which is your higher self, and then it coming back into your body can cause some of the physical injuries, things that you had happen while you were out there can manifest into your physical body. I mean, because it's literally your spirit and your soul coming back into your body. Why can't it manifest things like that? Petting prehistoric whales. I think that sounds awesome to me. Weirdest dream, thing was coming through your wall after you and you stood up and ate it. Well, it sounds to me like you're much stronger than whatever could have been something going on in your life, something that was feeling like it was trying to overpower you, maybe a situation in your life that you just decided, no, I'm going to be stronger than you. So therefore you ate whatever it was, showing you have the strength and you're stronger and you're not going to do that. Grabbed it, ripped it apart, and ate it. Yeah, it sounds to me like you were exerting your dominance, saying, no, we're not doing this, you're not doing that. How do you astral project? Well, astral projection and astral travel are different. So astral projecting is basically, you can do it when you're awake. You can meditate, put yourself into a state of meditation that allows you to, in your mind, leave your body. You can literally see everything see yourself laying, you know, on the couch and move about your house and, you know, go into different areas or go outside, go wherever you need to go. It is all a in your mind. Where astral travel is similar to that, except it's more detailed, it's more intense, it's more intensive. You're going into a different plane of existence, where astral projecting is more just in your surrounding. Oh no, you are not the only one, honey. Not the only one at all. Any guided meditations? Oh, well, I hadn't really thought about that. I usually just think people don't want to listen to me because I sound like a country bumpkin, but hey, how are you doing? Yeah. A lot of people can astral project, not trying to. Children especially, and it will scare the living out of them. You can train yourself to astral project. You can do meditation that helps you with the certain hurts and the ways that put you into that meditative state that allows you. Now, if you want to astral project, what I find, and you can try this, I don't know if it'll work for you, but what I try to do is, as I'm relaxed, my essence and my being, I will bring up and I will feel it in my third eye, And when I start feeling that little twinge in my third eye, I literally allow myself to leave through my third eye. And you can feel it. And so when you come back to yourself, you feel yourself come back in through your third eye. And if you have something like centralized, like your third eye, sometimes it makes it easier because people need something more tangible when they're doing that. Dreamt of a mall with elevators everywhere and couldn't find your way out. Well, that sounds to me like you were, yeah, okay, country bumpkins like to hear other country bumpkins. Thank you. So dreaming of being in a mall with elevators everywhere and couldn't find your way out, to me, just in general, sounds like you were probably going through some times where you felt like you were in a situation where there were a lot of options, but you didn't know which one or how to find your way out of that. You didn't know, do I have a way out of this? Do I have the right way out? There are a lot of different ways I can go to get out of here, but I can't find it. So you were probably mulling things around, trying to find answers to what is going on in your everyday life. Light beings and spirit guides in your dreams. You know, you can start to learn who your spirit guides are, but a lot of spirit guides will manifest as light beings. So there's probably not a whole lot of difference. You can ask, are you my spirit guide? If you can lucid dream. Now, there's also a lot of people who can lucid dream and a lot of people who struggle with that. Now, lucid dreaming is something that came natural for me. I thought that everybody could do it. I didn't realize that it was a thing until I was told when I was older. I was probably 19 or 20 when I found out what lucid dreaming was, and that, well, I can do that. Everybody can do that. No, not everybody can do that. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you are conscious of the fact that you are in this dream at that very second. You look around and you're like, I'm dreaming. That is a lucid dream. Now, it's not a lucid dream if you wake up the next morning and you remember everything about that dream. A lucid dream is when you know in that very second you are standing on a castle in the middle of Scotland looking over at the sea. That is, you know what I'm saying, that is a lucid dream. When you can control your dream and decide what you're going to do in that dream and how the dream is going to proceed. That's a lucid dream. You had a dream about putting a protective barrier in a dome shape around and over your property. I do that every night. I do that every night. So, you know, that to me tells me you feel like you need protection over your property. And when I say I put the egg and the protection around me, I do that first. I put the light and I put the shell around me first, and then I do my entire property. But I don't just, and a lot of people talk about a dome, I don't just put it over the top of my property. I do a sphere where it's literally under the ground and around into the air, because things that want to get in can always come from under. So I put the protection all the way around my property. Literally, I picture a globe around my property, and I fill that globe with light where even underground, spiritual things can find any way in, and I don't give that to them. Is it important to balance your chakras in order to meet your spirit guides and astral project? It helps. It certainly helps, but you know what? It's difficult to keep your chakras aligned. It absolutely is. I'm not the best at keeping mine aligned. I do Reiki on myself to help with that. But it certainly makes it a lot easier, because when you are completely aligned, you are open to messages and you are open to the beyond. Your daughter travels in her sleep, has been bringing things back with her. She's only 8. You have to teach her how to put the protective light around her. Do the egg, literally put her in an egg, and fill that egg up with white light. And you can do it for her. You can teach her to do it, just like a parent teaches their child how to pray. And then when they learn on their own, they say their own nightly prayers. Put the white protective light around her, the shell, the light, teaching her how to do it so that when she does it for herself, nothing can follow her back from there. And yeah, it's terrifying for a child because I've lived that. So after you realize a dream, you fly away like a bird. Oh God, isn't it wonderful to fly in your dreams? You were today years old when you learned that you were lucid dreaming. Yes, yeah, and it's not a super common thing. There are times when people say, "Oh my God, I knew I was dreaming last night. I was in this dream and I was just like," but it's not the actual norm. Some people can have lucid dreams. Some people have regular dreams. Mine are all lucid, and always have been lucid. Once I realized that I can control them, but they've always been lucid dreaming. Thank you, Amber. Yes, I'm telling you, guys, I used to bring stuff back with me all the time. I used to have night terrors. I used to have sleep paralysis. I would be absolutely terrified. I knew I was not the only one in my room. I sensed things that were all over. And once I learned to put that light around me, it was a game changer. I've literally had nothing be able to come back with me. And I say it for my dreams and I say it for astral travel. Because there's going to be times where you're not astral traveling every night. There's going to be times where, you're only dreaming. But you need protection in a dream as well because, again, you're so open that things can get to you. Things can infiltrate. Things can find a weak link and they can get in if you are not protected. And they can just come as a form of nightmares or sleep paralysis or night terrors. And people are like, well, I did that as a kid, but I grew out of it. A lot of times when you do get older, because you're so open when you're young, that as you do get older, it does go away because you no longer are as open as you were when you were younger, and they can go away. All right, let me see some of these. You'll tell myself in your dream to remember everything when you wake up. Absolutely, you can do that. If you're lucid dreaming, you can do that. If you don't lucid dream, you can set that intention before you lay down to go to sleep at night that you remember your dreams. You tell yourself it's a dinosaur egg and have a ninja in there with you too. All right, whatever works. Yeah, if you're lucid dreaming and a dream starts going south and getting scary and getting a little hanky, and you're lucid dreaming, you can change the whole trajectory of that dream and turn that monster into a clown. Well, unless you're scared of clowns, turn him into a fuzzy teddy bear. Know anyone near? Look, I don't know of very many people who can dream walk that are actually cognizant of the fact that they can dream walk. When you try to research it, there's not a lot of research out there. I mean, you can look up the definition of it. You can Google the definition of what a dream walker is. It's very, very important in Native American culture. But Honestly, I mean, I don't know if I can help you. I would love to help you. What's the difference between lucid dreaming and astral projecting? A huge difference. Lucid dreaming is just dreaming. It's just your average, every day, every night, going to sleep dream. The only difference is you are fully cognizant and aware in that very second that you are dreaming. That's just a person who literally has a higher consciousness in the dream state to be able to control the dreams, decide how the dream's going to go. And astral projecting is literally can be done awake, can be done asleep. It is literally just moving about and going wherever you want to go. Yeah, Shannon, the way you dream depends on your protection. Not gonna lie, there's been a couple of times where I fell asleep and didn't get that around me, and I could tell a huge difference in just the anxiety of how I slept, because I've stayed protected and blocked for so long that when they see an in and they're like, oh, yeah, she doesn't do this very often, so let's go in and see what we can do. So yeah, you got to be real diligent when you start doing it. Or you can eat the monster. There you go. Can you learn to dream walk? Yeah, I think everybody has that capability, because you have to realize dreams are all interconnected, because that's how we can dream walk. That's how I can go into someone else's dream. Just think of it as this huge building with all of these hallways and floors and doors, and you open this door and there's somebody's dream. And you go across the hall and you open this door and there's someone else's dream. And you have the capability of opening up whichever door you want to open and going in. Now, you have people who can use that to their advantage that are not good people. I believe I was given that gift for a good reason. I've never abused it on purpose. Now, like I said, when I was younger, I would go into other dreams not realizing that I was doing so. Now I only purposefully go if I need to help someone. I only go if someone is called out to me, because I set that intention up when I'm going to sleep at night, that if someone needs my help, if someone needs me to be in their dream, whether I'm doing anything or not, sometimes they just see a flash of my face, or I'm standing there, and it's enough for them to either come out of that dream, or I'll physically help them in that dream. But all dreams are interconnected. You can learn to go into other people's dreams, but it's a responsibility. It can be dangerous, because you can do things to people's psyche in their dream. I mean, the chances of hurting someone in a dream are not likely as another person going into another person's dream. But you can really mess with somebody's psyche when you do that. So it's a huge responsibility, which is why I think it's also very hard to learn how to do, unless you do it naturally. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Amber. Yes. Yes. Anyone can dream walk. It's not exclusive to certain people, because all dreams are interconnected. You can even have shared dreams. You can have someone that you trust, that you're friends with or close to, and you guys can decide to practice and try to be in each other's dreams. I mean, that's something you can do. But I'm telling you, when you start figuring out how to go into other people's dreams, it needs to be with consent, and it needs to be with intention of helping. But it's just like anything else. I can own a gun, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to use that gun responsibly. I have the authority to own that gun, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to go out and harm someone with that gun just because I can have it. So I think if you hone this gift and you have this gift and you use this gift, it is for a reason. Because again, you can help people when you're awake and you can help people when you're asleep, but you can also do the opposite. It's completely up to you. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, it's been a wild ride to really completely realize it. And what I'm learning, still learning in dream walking, is that there's no research. You you can't say 47% of dream walkers all experience. There's no studies for this. There's not something that people can put a label to. I mean, barely the fact that you're a dream walker, but the fact that you don't know. I didn't understand that I was going into other people's dreams. And I didn't understand that I wasn't always conscious of the fact. I didn't wake up like I had a dream knowing I was at April's house and I was helping her in her garden and we were playing with her dog. It doesn't really work that way. I don't know all the time when I'm doing it. But I don't need to know when someone says, you were in my dream the other night and you helped me so much. You grabbed me. I fell into a creek and I felt like I was going to get swept away, and there you were. You reached down and you grabbed my hand and you pulled me out. I don't have to say, I remember that dream. I was in that. Yes, I don't have to remember that. All I know is I helped you when you needed help. And that's my role. That's why I was placed here. The shadow work session in my services, yeah, it's just private shadow work. It's just going over what shadow work is. I will give you a booklet that helps you do some exercises, that helps you figure out what your triggers are, what your repressed shadow self is, and how to bring that out and integrate it. And occasionally it takes more than one session because an hour goes by really quickly when you're talking about, some pretty sensitive things about yourself. So yeah, it's good. It's better if you can do, like the 4-week class where you're doing an hour and a half. But some people like it privately, don't want to discuss things that they deal with in their shadow life, in their shadow self, with other people, and we can do it in private. Oh my gosh, it's called, in the show, Adventure Time, and it's a dream walker. That's fascinating. I've never heard of Adventure Time. Yeah. Especially when people are moving along in their spirituality and they hit that plateau, gone through a dark night of the soul, a lot of times it's because they're at that stage and at that phase in their spirituality where they have to start dealing with the dark aspects of their life, of their soul, of their self, of who they are, things that they've repressed, things that they've unconsciously been taught and, culturally and you know, things you learned in your community, things you learned in a certain time frame of your life can all be repressed. And when you're reaching a level in your spirituality that you feel like you just hit this wall, like I was trucking along, everything was going so great, and now I've hit this dark night of the soul and I don't know what to do. A lot of time it is because you need to keep elevating and to keep awakening. You have to deal with those dark aspects of your life because you cannot be your true authentic self until you bring up the dark and you integrate it with the light and you have a whole person. And that's when your spirituality stops on that plateau and is able to continue to rise up. It's not something you have to do, but if you want to continue to elevate and to awaken and to ascend, you are going to have to do some sort of shadow work. He lives in a galaxy and opens these portals and just sees people. Somebody knows something, because to make up a storyline about an owl that's a dream walker and he opens up portals to see people. Somebody knows something. So can you be a dream walker and help people cross over? I do both. So yes, absolutely you can. You absolutely can. And yeah. Yeah, definitely, Love Sky. Somebody has some otherworldly knowledge on that dream walking owl. Oh, that's awesome, Mistress. Yeah, that's about as high level as it can get. So you should be very, very proud. All right, guys, give me some questions. I don't know. If I missed any, if you can repost them. It's, oh, yeah, yeah. You could also, yeah. If you are around and you are naturally drawn to people at the end of their lives, a lot of people go into hospice care or nursing where they work, or nurse aides where they deal with a lot of people who are crossing over. You should look into a death doula. What happens if you're on your last life? Well, that means you have pretty much done everything that your soul has come here to learn. And this life is your last life. Usually it's your doing the last bit of spring cleaning, getting everything in order and everything lined out so that when you cross over, you ascend and you don't have to come back. You're an ICU nurse. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I've dealt with a lot of death as a nurse as well. So, you believe looking back that your mother was a witch. Sadly, she passed away. Ask her. When you go to bed tonight, open yourself up and say, look, let's have this talk. Because she probably, when she crossed over, she's probably like, I should have told her. I should have let her know that everything she's dealing with is okay and it's not a problem. So, open yourself up to her in a dream and say, come to me, let's talk. You're Muskogee and Seminole, even though you don't meet blood quantum. Could my gifts come from them? Absolutely. Absolutely come from them. Yeah, because they're so open to it. It doesn't matter that you don't meet blood quantum. Your ancestors are your ancestors. And you can draw on that and you can ask for their guidance. And they will give you guidance on that. How can you have so many past lives and still be a spirit like those past lives are spirits themselves. How can you have so many past lives and still be a spirit? I'm not understanding that. But you have more lives after you pass. It's a cycle. Your soul is not just here for this one life and then it's gone. You go through many, many, many lives because you have many lessons to learn. When you go through all these lives, you are good and you are bad and you are everything in between. You are rich, you are poor, you are abused, you are tortured, you are a lot, because you have lessons from A to Z that you have to learn. And some people go through many lives and don't learn any lessons, so then they hit one life where all of that kind of comes crashing down and they have a pretty significantly difficult life. Everyone has hard lives. Everyone has easy lives, what you call vacation lives. Everyone has lives where they're good, inherently good. And everyone has lives where they're inherently bad and they do bad things. Because that's a part of the balance, and that's a part of how can you truly understand someone else's trauma if you haven't lived it in this life, but you sense it because it happened in another life. So you can have empathy for that person, even though you're not going through it during this lifetime. Because those are all of the lessons that we have to learn before we can be finished with, our soul can be finished and we can ascend. Like you go to heaven, but you can have another life. I don't know how I feel about heaven and hell. I don't think of it quite like Christianity type heaven and hell. But like I said, everything's a cycle. Your soul is born. It chooses a life. You live that life. You die. You go to a place where you process your life. You process the lessons that you learned. You process the lessons that you didn't complete and you still need to learn. So when you're kind of debriefed at that point, and then you're given a choice of a couple different lives. This is what you can, because you choose your life. You choose what life you go to next. So if it's hard, it's because your soul knew in that last life it didn't quite get this lesson on this, but okay, I'll choose this one and I'll get it done on this next life. Those thoughts, those understandings of that are way level, like way up here level. We understand those things, we just don't remember them as we get into each life. Because if we remembered every life that we had, it would be very, very hard to live that life. If you had every other life that you ever lived and you knew everything about every other life that you had and the torture you went through or the people that you hurt or the wonderful soulmate that you left and who's not here this round, you could not fully be present to learn the lessons that you need to learn in that specific life. That is why we don't always know. How do you get past the feeling of just giving up? Giving up. What do you mean giving up? Like giving up in this life? So Southern Girl, kind of clarify on that, and I'll get back to you. When you die, will you ever be rejoined with your husband or son, or is that where your soulmates come in? When you die, if your husband or your son hasn't moved on to their life, next life, then you guys, if they're in your soul tribe, you guys will meet up again. There's going to be lives where your soulmate maybe passed early, was yanked early from a tragic accident in this life, and they were taken from you, so that they've moved on and you've stayed. And then when you pass on and you've moved on, they've already moved on again. So it may take a couple of cycles of lives before you're back with your soulmate. That doesn't mean you can't have a long and healthy and wonderful life with someone that you love beyond all measure in this life. They're just not your soulmate. Your soulmate could be in a different cycle, and it takes a couple of lives to get back to that. But you'll get there. Oh, my printer just went off, scared me to death. So it doesn't mean that you can't have a fruitful, loving, and have children and have it be just immensely fruitful for you, but they're not your soulmate. But you can still have wonderful love in that lifetime. Can you take people to their other past lives? Yeah, I do past life readings, and and some of them are doozies, and some of them are kind of hard to tell people, and some of them are wonderful to tell people, and they're just exciting. But again, the past life reading that I do, I only pull three past lives for you, and they are the past lives that are affecting you the most in your current life, in your current state, in what you're dealing with right now. So you could have those three past lives read to you and given to you, and then you could come back to me in 3 years and say, I would like another past life reading, and I pull 3 more lives, and you are at a totally different place in your life. So that 3 different past lives, because we can have hundreds, thousands of past lives. So the ones that are affecting you the most will always come through, because that's what I ask for. How can people connect with their family who have passed, like spirits? They're probably always around you. You just don't always pay attention to the signs that they're giving you, that they're here. And it may not be like a conversation like we're having. Let's talk back and forth, and I hear your voice, or I see you sitting in front of me. But sometimes it's just the knowing of feeling their soul and spirit around you. And you can have somebody who can do mediumship, who can physically talk to those people and translate things back and forth between you. And sometimes they can come through, and sometimes they may not. It depends on if they feel like you're at a place in your life that you need to hear what they have to say. But they're always around you. They are always around you. My website is nativedreamwalker.com, and it's linked on my main page there. I don't know if that's Indian or not. You're Italian. I don't know, because I have people who meet me and know that I'm Cherokee Indian, and they say, "Oh my God, what is my name in Cherokee?" Well, you're like, say your name is Jessica. Well, the name Jessica doesn't mean anything in Cherokee. There's no way to say Jessica in Cherokee. Someone has a Cherokee name because they were given that name, given a specific name, which is not, I'm Pam. So my Cherokee name does not mean Pam. It doesn't really work that way. Hey, how are you? Yes, I love doing past lives, because it can tell you so much about what's happening in your life now, why you do some of the things you do. why you have some of the fears and anxieties about things, and you don't know, you have this fear of drowning. You've never been a swimmer, you've never really cared to go into the water, you just have this unnatural fear of drowning and you don't know why. It could have something to do with a past life. You could have almost drowned when you were a child in a past life, or you could have actually drowned in a past life. You notice crows around a lot lately. Is that bad? I remember someone telling me it's bad. It depends. It really depends. There are different cultures who think of them as bad. Crows are, it's one of my spirit animals. I love crows. Crows they're so smart. They're so crafty. Some of them believe that, some cultures believe that they are harbingers of death, but it's hard to imagine that now because crows are so plenty that seeing one, you can't hardly equate that to being something bad. You could also have certain deities that are associated with crows. The Morrigan, could be kind of giving you some messages that they want to work with you. So, just look up deities associated with crows, and something may actually click and go, oh my gosh, this is happening too, and this is happening too, and this is happening too, and oh my gosh, well, this deity is trying to contact me. Could be. I mean, it could be that, or it's just a spirit animal for you. Yeah, they always have classes. They even do some online stuff to learn Cherokee. Yeah. But it sounds Indian until you. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but there's so many different languages in indigenous languages that it could sound very, very similar to. I would love to do a past life reading for you. So if you guys want to just go to my website, nativedreamwalker.com, and I can get you scheduled. And there's only around 2,000 people who can speak Cherokee. Well, my entire family is a part of that 2,000. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I remember when we were on the road. Yeah. Energy Well. Yes, I remember that very clearly. Oh, listen. I'm the exact same way with owls. Owls have always been, I love owls. It's another one of my very, very deeply connected animals. Um, some cultures, they do mean death. They are harbingers of death, messengers of sort, but I don't think of them that way. I think of them as very knowledgeable, very, I mean, you think about the owl, the hoot owl, knowledge. Yeah, I love owls. Do I offer classes on dream walking? I'm going to be doing kind of like setting up a class where it's going to be one evening on Zoom, where we do go over specifically what dream walking is and some things that you can do to sharpen those skills. I just haven't got around to getting that yet. I think I'm going to wait till probably after the holidays. You see them almost every morning, 10 to 20. And you've seen owls. I love owls. Oh, you have an owl tattoo. I always wanted an owl tattoo. Yeah, I'll let you guys know because we're going to I'll have my next live next week, um, next Monday at 7, and we're going to go over spirit guides and ancestors more. And then, for the first little bit, and then we're going to go over answering all these questions that I can. And guys, you'll forgive me if I don't answer when you say, what does it mean when you dream about this? I really just need you to set up an appointment with me to do a dream interpretation, because it's an hour-long thing that I sit and discuss with you, and I talk to you, and I go over things that are happening in your life, and I figure out, and then I connect with you intuitively, and I answer those questions based on that. Because, like I said, I can answer a question on, I can literally grab my phone and Google what it means to dream about two moons in the sky, or what it means if I'm in a boat and there's a, in stormy, choppy water. You can look all of that up. But my dream interpretations are based on what is happening in your life right at this time that is causing you to have this dream. And for one, for it to stick with you so significantly that, and you can't figure it out, I can help you figure it out. Yeah, like I said, I'll get it set up before next week. That way I can let you know. Coyotes and hawks. Yeah. Dreaming of, or are you talking about seeing a lot of coyotes or hawks? Yeah, you can definitely look up those meanings. And if those meanings are resonating with you, it could be a message for you. Can I take you to meet spirit guides? I can do a spirit guide reading. Or I can recommend some guided meditation to meet your spirit guides. The best thing is the meditation tea that I have. That will help you get into a meditative state. It literally helps you kind of get out of your head, because I think a lot of people have trouble when they're meditating to get out of their head. Before you know it, they're thinking about everything that they have to do for the week, and they're like, they just can't quiet their mind. And if you want to do a guided meditation to meet your spirit guides, the meditation tea that I have on my website, that's what it's for. It helps you get out of your head, and it makes you very able to focus on what you're trying to do at that time. And you can focus on the guided meditative voices that you're hearing, where they're taking you, and you can kind of unplug from your brain for a minute and allow you to get to that state. Several dreams that have happened, like come to fruition. Oh yeah. If your ears are ringing, you feel static, or you feel like maybe one side of your ear got cupped and you just absolutely, the hearing is just like cut completely off. Yeah, a lot of times that's your spirit guides and your ancestors trying to get a message to you. Sometimes they have to get pretty specific with you to pay attention, because you're not understanding or shutting off the world easy enough to understand what they're trying to tell you. Thank you. Yeah, I work really hard on the tea. Do I have any recommendations for meditation? Let me, if you can message me on TikTok, because we're friends, so you can message me to remind me. I'll go through my list that I have, and I'll write a couple of them down and send them to you. They're on YouTube. And the last one was some shamanic traveling, so if you're interested in that as well. Yes, I'm very excited to be back at Enchantments and Oddities on December the 1st. I'm going to be doing a special, for a Reiki special for the 1st, because I'll be back on Wednesday, December 1st. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then all that next week I'll have a Reiki special. I'm ready to do some hands-on healing. I've missed that tremendously. Well, Ever heard of someone who wakes up, can't move, and a full body Indian is watching? Happened at 15. Sounds to me like someone was trying very intently to get a message to you. Very much so. Do I think people like Christians, Catholics get a shock when they die? I think when we all cross over, because no one has it completely right, I think we all have a shock when we cross over, because it's this all-knowing. It's an all-knowing when you cross over, and I think that probably is pretty like, wow. Oh, your grandfather was full blood. Mm-hmm. But didn't talk about it. Yeah. It could literally be some ancestors trying to get a hold of you, or were trying to get a hold of you. And if you feel comfortable, if you feel like you're at a mature level to where you realize that could have been a really significant message for me, you could open yourself back up to that, because time is nothing for them. You were 15. That could have been like just yesterday for time wise to that spirit, if it wants to get a message to you. I'm also under Native Dreamwalker on YouTube, and I'll have this posted up on YouTube as soon as it finishes loading on TikTok. I'll move it over onto YouTube so you guys can go and watch it, and I would love for you to go follow me there. I also have Instagram Native Dreamwalker and Facebook Native Dreamwalker. So yeah. Son's name is Jasper Rain. He's 2, and my mom dug into her ancestors 2 months ago and found out she... great-great-great-grandparents. Oh, that is so cool. So that tells me that your ancestors put those names into your head. It was significant enough for them to put that thought into your head. And I think that is absolutely cool. Oh, I did your soul reading. Thank you. Yeah, I just now been starting to get myself going on YouTube, and when things when you get a bigger following on TikTok, it seems like things tend to go south really quickly, and you get blocked and banned and all those scary little things that TikTokers talk about. I always know that I have Instagram and I have YouTube that I can fall back on, because getting information out to the masses, I literally had that thought in my head. I had that vision. It was given a vision that I was before. Of course, in my brain, this happened way before social media. That I was standing on a stage and I was speaking to an auditorium completely filled with people. So when this presented itself, I thought, this is actually that coming true, only I'm just sitting here talking to a screen, but there are all of these people that I'm reaching, and that was a part of my path. It's just they can't put visions in your head of things that don't exist yet. They have to put it in things you understand. So an auditorium filled with hundreds and thousands of people kind of is this same platform, if you will. This is just a different type of stage and a different type of, the audience is everyone in their homes. So yeah, I've been seeing that Ancestry.com has the $59 with the holidays coming up to get DNA testing. Thank you. And I'm telling you, thank you. I appreciate that. The for the DNA testing. It is absolutely amazing, people, because you can literally find out about your lineage and your ancestry, and you can find out about an entirely different group of ancestors that you never even knew you were a part of, that you can call on for help. But you have to make sure that you're honoring them. Like, I realized that I am a lot Scottish, and I did not realize that. That was completely new to me. So now I know that I have that entire heritage of people, of ancestors that have always been beside me that I just didn't know about. And I can call on them. Look at the help now that once I acknowledge them, my ancestor altar is now going to have Scottish things that represent what my heritage is, and I can honor them. And when you honor them, my God, they're falling over themselves to help you in your life. Once you acknowledge them, once you ask for their help, I'm Scottish. I need your help. I need help with my life. I need help with understanding things. It just opens up all kinds of doors that you didn't even realize that you have access to now. But you have to honor them. Because if you set up an altar and you just, there it is. Yep, that's my ancestor altar, and you don't do anything for them, and you don't honor them, and you ask them for help, they're going to be like, okay, well, what are you doing for us? How are you honoring your Scottish ancestry? Tell me what you're doing to honor us, because we would love to help you. Yeah, you got to honor them. You have to honor them. And that's the thing. I knew about my Native American culture. I knew about that background. And I knew, and I called on those ancestors on the daily, because that's all I knew. And when I did this DNA test and I realized what I had out there that I was not utilizing, that were just waiting in the wings to be able to help me, it's amazing. I promise you that. Oh, you're welcome. Coffee, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. I have a separate altar now for that ancestry, because Scottish people, come on, they love like whiskey or some kind of alcohol, where I would never, ever put that on my Native American ancestor altar. That is very disrespectful, because alcohol, liquor has always been a poison to my people. So I would never disrespect them, so I keep those separate. But my Scottish ancestors, heck yeah, they're all about that. So be very mindful of the things that you put on the altar, that you're not being disrespectful to one set of ancestors over another set of ancestors. Burning candles, absolutely. That's a wonderful way. Half Scottish, they love their ale. There you go. They do love offerings. And when you make holiday meals, or you make a special meal that you knew your grandmother made the best chocolate cake on the planet from scratch, and you made this chocolate cake, put a piece of that and put it near a picture of your great-grandma, and just say, I give this to my ancestors. I honor you with this. You taught this to me, and I just want you to enjoy it. And you put it there, and you leave it there overnight, and then you take it, and you can do whatever you want with it, as far as, if you want to throw it away, you can throw it away. If you wanted to put it outside and give it back to the earth, you can do that. Let the animals have it. but always honor them, especially if you go out of your way to make a meal. Fix them a plate. And if you are in a position where your husband or your wife or your kids, they don't understand how all of this works, fix a plate. Set it over off to the side on the counter. And if they say, what is this for? Who is this for? Just say, don't worry about it. I'll just fix that for something later. Don't touch it, please. But just tell your ancestors, I honor you. I give this to you. I offer this to you. And again, you can take it outside and let nature have it and give it back to the earth. Yes, honoring your ancestors with food is a wonderful thing to do. Yeah, I do spiritual coaching. That's another thing that's offered on there. Where when you're just like, I kind of don't know where I'm at, don't know where I'm going, don't know what I need to do. You can schedule spiritual coaching with me, and we can sit and we can kind of get you on a little path, get you on a little plan, kind of get you going on where you need to go. Oh yeah, chickens love it when you're honoring the ancestors, huh? You forget to do your prayers when you're tired, or is there something else you can do for protection? I actually have my house warded and guarded with, herbs, stones, things that I have wrapped up in cloth. And I have them buried in all points of my yard, the four corners of my yard. And I say exactly that no one can enter this property who means to harm, who means to steal, or who means negativity in any way, shape, or form onto this property. And when you set that boundary, you can put bags of herbs and stones, protective stones, salt, anything. I have some that are tacked above my door, my front door and my back door. There's things that you can do where you're protected as a whole. When I wrap myself in the light when I'm going to sleep, that is mainly for the dream plane and for the astral plane, but I'm protected. My property is protected for that. Yes, it's Native Dreamwalker on YouTube as well. Oh my gosh, yes. One of your best friends passed away this year. Is it okay to set a plate aside for them? Absolutely. And then just say, I honor our friendship and the life that was cut short for you, and I honor you, and I guarantee you will get a message, you will get a sign within a couple of days that they received everything that you left for them. You're absolutely welcome. So guys, I am going to be getting off here, but I want to let you guys know that I'm doing every Monday night from 7 to 9, that's Central Time, 7 to 9. It always ties around dreams because I'm a dream worker, of course, but spirituality, anything that has to do with your spiritual health, I'm all about it. And any questions I can answer, I would love to answer them. I'm kind of getting into the gears of being able to read I didn't have April here with me tonight. Normally she's sitting across there, but she's having to watch 2 homesteads tonight. So, but I absolutely love that you guys have joined me, and it means the world to me. And just knowing that I'm helping you is enough for me. Yeah, guys, honor your ancestors, especially with the holiday that's coming up. I don't celebrate it as Thanksgiving. I celebrate it as a time for my family to get together because we don't get to do that very often. So I honor it as what it is, a time to be with my family and a time to honor my ancestors. And yeah, I love you guys. You're very welcome. You guys have a great, great week, and love on your family and love on your friends and eat lots of food and don't shop too much. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.